Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to attend today's gathering hosted by our Confederation of Business Association and to meet with the candidates in person. Confederation of Great Toronto Chinese Business Association is made up of 4 business Chinese associations, namely the Toronto Chinese Business Association, the Richmond Hill Chinese Business Association, the Mississauga Chinese Business Association, and the Scarborough and York Region Chinese Business Association. Since the election campaign is at its highest peak, our members and the committee at large would like to know every individual candidate's platforms and to hear directly from them what they would be able to best serve should they be selected to office. First of all, let's give the round of applause to our candidates for taking the time in such a short period to come to take today's questionnaire section. The one on the stage. First of all, I will present the Toronto Chinese Business Association. Mr. David Hoy, represented by Daisy Wade, past president. Mr. Victor Ong, Mississauga Business Association. Last but not least, Mr. Alva Lai, the Scarborough and York Region Business Association. And Mr. Kim Jones, and Tony,
Mr. Jim Kwan, running for Ward 6. Mr. Jeffrey Rowe, running for Ward 7. Ms. Ivy Lam, running for Ward 4. Mr. Jeremy Choi, running for Ward 8. Mr. Howard Shern, running for Ward 2. And Mr. Kenny Sito, running for Ward 3. And we have Judith representing Ms. Ivy Lee, who's also running for Ward 8.
Business Association. I would like to welcome all the candidates and the audience here today to have the question and answer period. And since the election is coming to a close, so hopefully this event will help each other understand all the candidates in Markham and York Region area. So thanks a lot.
我係士嘉堡約克區華商會會長黎建輝。我哋嘅總會咧都好希望咧，我哋嘅華人咧能夠咧積極參與呢個選舉嘅盛事。呢一個咧係我哋嘅應該履行嘅一個責任。所以我希望咧，我哋每一個華人都能夠去參與。多謝。
我係代表嚟自文山萬錦市華商會嘅。我喺呢一度咧，特別係再一次請大家，我哋所有嘅華人團體記得出嚟投票。因為每一日面對所有嘅我哋日常嘅，無論係起居飲食咧，都係同市政府有關嘅。所以明白你每一個市政府嘅今次嘅候選人，佢哋會係有啲咩嘅政綱，一齊出嚟投票。 I'm just here to encourage all of you to come out and vote. The Chinese community had a voice, and we should come out and vote. Thank you.
我是代表密西沙加华商会，我是会长。今天的目的呢，华商总会的目的主要是要鼓励华人社区在11月13号一定要出来投票。 这是你们的权利，这是你们的 right， 你一定要 exercise 这个 right， 因为接下来的话呢，明年就是选举，那么这非常重要。这一次呢，大家能够出来参选，那么多中国人的候选人，就表示中国人对这个政治的时候已经到了。那希望大家在11月13号一定要出来参选，出来投你的一票。 谢谢。
Thank you.
Leo Ma. Oh, it's good to see everybody again at the Pacific Mall.
And I have to congratulate the business associations for bringing together candidates that are running in Markham, bringing together the Chinese community, and also thanks to Pacific Mall for hosting this forum so that more people in the Chinese community can find out about local politics. I just want to say that I've had the pleasure and honor of representing Markham for the past 18 years as a regional councillor, deputy mayor, and as mayor. And you know, the Chinese community has grown tremendously, and I think now it's very easy for people to come forward and say they support the Chinese community because there's so many here in Markham. But let me tell you, there was a number of years ago when there wasn't so many Chinese people in Markham that I stood up on Markham Council and supported the development of Pacific Mall because I thought it was an exciting project, a project that was going to be a tourist attraction for people all across the Greater Toronto area. And I recognized that the town of Markham was changing, that we were becoming culturally diverse. And today we have people living here from every corner of the world, and I'm proud that Markham is so culturally diverse. And I think it's great that we have the Pacific Mall sitting here for the Chinese community, but indeed it's now become an attraction for so many communities. When I look out into the audience, when I've been here shopping, I see people of all backgrounds who've come to enjoy the culture of the Chinese. Now, I only have 2 minutes. Please take time to read my brochure. It's right here. And I believe I'm the only candidate for mayor, maybe the only candidate running, I'm not sure, that's translated their brochure in Chinese. So please take time to take a look at that and find out a little bit more about my platform. In closing, I want to say my campaign slogan is, "We are Markham." 3 words, we are Markham. Now in Chinese, it's a bit more than 3 words. Or de yat che chow hai Markham. Did I get that close? And you know what? When I become the mayor of Markham, let me reassure you that regardless of race, religion, color of skin, country of origin, whether you live in the east part of Markham or whether you live in Thornhill or in the north part of Markham, you will be treated with the utmost respect in the new Markham. And I'm reaching out to all communities. And I hope that candidates, win or lose, will stay involved in the political process to help shape the future of Markham. Please take time to read my brochure. Look forward to your questions. Doce, thank you very much.
This opportunity offered by the Confederation of Chinese Business Associations, because I think this is important for all of us to not only come out to vote, but to be an informed voter. You need to look at the platform of various candidates and then decide what is best for you, what you believe in. And what I would like to talk about is that for Markham, transportation, economic development, environmental protection, and public safety are my main issues. A number of residents have spoken to me that, yes, of course, everyone knows about gridlock, but they also are very worried about public safety. So I know my time is limited, but I want to say this, that for public safety, it is not enough for us to totally rely on the police officers. I was a member of the police services board before, and I know that they are fine men and women. However, their resources and time are limited, and I think we must work with them and other organizations, including youth, multicultural, and faith groups, to make this a harmonious society and to make sure that community policing works. On economic development, I know that Markham has been relatively successful in attracting top-tier companies into our town, and that, of course, is successful in expanding our commercial and industrial tax base. But more than that, we should be able to work with many of our new immigrants who need their first job, because oftentimes they've been told that, well, without any Canadian experience, we're not going to hire you. We've had programs before when we work with employers to provide them the opportunity of employment, and oftentimes they will be able to continue on with the same employer or at other locations. All they need is the opportunity, because many of them are very well qualified. In addition to that, Markham is very well positioned in international economic development, and of course many of you know that we've established a strong economic alliance with the city of Wuhan in China. We have many residents from various countries, including China and India, and I know that they are excellent bridges for us because they do have the business experience and the business knowledge of the business culture. Now, I don't know if my time is up, but I want to thank the Confederation again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'd like to thank the Chinese Business Association for putting this on. I've been involved in the political scene in the Markham area for 15 out of the last 18 years. I've been ward councillor for Unionville, 88, 91, and 94. And I was very lucky in 97 to be elected the Member of Parliament for Markham, representing you in Ottawa. And I came back in 2003, and now I'm a regional councillor. The projects that I have on my platform over there, and it's on the desk, is I'm focusing on things like gridlock, health and wellness, cultural integration, and reduced crime. The top thing in my platform really is rapid transit. I like to turn the GO line out here into above ground subway line. I believe that this area here and what's south on the South of Steeles and the new emerging Milliken Mills Center is becoming a major destination. And let's friendly up the interfaces so that you can move easily from one area to another, whether it's across the tracks or across the street. Also up the street, along the 407, it's quite a few years away. I'd like to advance that agenda, and that's rapid rail along the south side of the 407. As you're aware, that one GO train takes 1,600 people and can take 1,400 cars off the road, and that's what we got to do. Is we got to move people fast, efficient, and affordable. I also like to bring the young subway, work on with the group of Vaughan and Richmond Hill to bring that up to the 407. And with those three initiatives, that will resolve a lot. The second initiative, which I began a year ago and working with Frank Scarpitti, is the National or the Canadian Sports Institute, which is a mile up the street. And it's going to be major athletic facilities for our youth in the surrounding area, because if we just try to do it as Markham, I won't get funding from the feds or the province. And I believe that if we keep our youth busy, we'll keep them out of trouble. And then the last initiative is sports fields. As you're aware, the Milliken Mills park down the road here, the soccer fields are getting ripped away, and we've been working on putting sports fields in the 407 corridor.
Thank you, Mr. Jim Jones.
I am running because, like I see Markham did a dramatic change. For almost 20 years, you see all the development going up here. When you come to Markham Pacific Mall especially, you see the traffic is blocked down. I have difficulty to find my parking. I've been circling for the last 15 minutes just to find a parking lot. Finally, I have to give up. I have to turn the key over to my driver and say, why don't you go and find the parking yourself? So this is a very crucial thing, traffic. We have to address that issue. And secondly, the property tax has been increasing every year, especially property right across Pacific Mall has been increasing year after year, and the town of Markham have never paid any attention to this area. And thirdly, policing is a key issue. As a Chinese Canadian, we always value about law and order. 我相信我们每一个华人对那个治安的问题非常的重要。在这个行政区里面呢，我们时常都感觉到治安有点问题，而且在附近除了交通，而且那个地塞每年都增加，所以这是对我们华人非常好像是感觉到敏感的。另外是环保 ，in environment。like no one in the council today are talking about environment. They just dug the feet put their head in the sun. They don't seem to know what's going on in your region. Okay, so this is a problem I want to address about. Thank you for coming out today. Hopefully you can vote for me on November 13th. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to have the ward councillor, the councillor candidates to speak. First, Ward 2 Howard Shern.
我係第二區嘅候選人，我叫沈宏偉。My name is Howard Shern。頭先阿 Jolie 佢指住我話呢班年輕一群，我面都紅晒啊！咁其實我1980年咧就嚟到加拿大，咁移民過嚟喺度讀書，喺度工作，喺度置業。咁我同好多嘅新移民一樣咁樣，經過好多嘅掙扎，經過咗好多嘅喺生活上裏邊嘅困難，然之後慢慢嘅喺呢個嘅社會裏邊受到孕育。咁所以我對你哋嘅困難、對你哋嘅掙扎、對你哋嘅體驗，我都係有同感嘅。咁我覺得好重要，身為一個嘅候選人，佢要明白民情，佢知道佢哋嘅困難，知道佢哋需要係邊一方面。我自己個競選嘅區係第二區，咁個班區咧就係北邊係 Steeles， 南邊咧南邊係 Steeles， 北邊係 Hut， 咁西邊咧就係Bayview， 然之後東邊就係404。喺呢一區係一個好成熟嘅一區。咁喺近年裏邊咧，呢4年裏邊有好大嘅一個改變，好多新嘅移民流入嗰個成熟嘅區裏邊，包括到好多華人嘅移民，佢哋嘅需要係乜嘢咧？我有感覺，我知道佢唔單止係希望喺經濟上邊穩定，佢希望喺交通方面、喺安全方面都有好多嘅新嘅改變喺區嘅裏邊。咁我呢方面有好多嘅新嘅政策同方案係能夠大家分享嘅。Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? My name is Ken Zito, and I'm representing Unionville Ward 3 Councillor candidate. I'm just not going to take everyone's time. I just want to say that I want to work for the community, and I'm dedicated into bringing your voice into the City Council. Your opinions, your voice matters. Thank you.
My name is Ivy. I'm running for Ward 4 Councillor. I just want to say that I grew up in Markham. I went to Markham schools. I drive on Markham roads, and I take public transit. And these issues, I know about the issues. I live there, and I talk to residents. I know besides traffic, we talk about traffic, property tax. I know community is very important in my ward, and I hope to bring a closer to community together, and I promise to work hard for the community. Thank you.
你好，各位，我係詹關，係第6區嘅參選者。我嚟咗加拿大1975嚟到，我喺嗰區住咗9年，工作咗15年。咁我好熟悉嗰個區嘅居民要今次出嚟參選，因為嗰度個候選人Mr. Dan Hodge 已經同市民已經 out of touch。咁我已經喺嗰區做咗好多好似個neighborhood watch neighborhood picnic。咁如果好多居民嘅需要我都知道，所以今次我特登出嚟參選，希望幫助所有咁多居民。唔該晒，多謝。
My name is Jeffrey Rowe. The reason I'm running the campaign for the ward councillor is because I want to be really part of this society. I'm proud of to be part in 2 great countries, which is Canada and China. 我出嚟參選呢，一個目的呢，就想呢，就做一個喺呢度係公民，咁啊同社會管理。我对于参加参选，是因为像刚才这位主持人说的，实体看是给我们的那个吃喝取一个服务，所以我希望作为一个 part of a member.
Hello everybody, my name is Jeremy Choi and I'm running for Ward 8 Councillor. One of my many visions is to solve the traffic gridlock around this neighborhood. And how are we going to do that? We need to promote and improve the public transit system by rebranding Viva and YRT as an economical and smart choice. And who is better to do that than someone who actually takes the public transit, who actually uses it? So we need to make sure our roads on Kennedy, on Warden, on Birchmount can accommodate the amount of traffic that we have in our growing society. Especially right now, they're doing a new zoning at Midland and Steeles. They're doing a new zoning for Kennedy and Courtney to build more condos. We're introducing 300 to 400 more cars on the road. We need to make it an efficient public transit so we can accommodate the amount of traffic that we're going to eventually have. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Ivy Lee is known to many of you. She's been a resident in this ward for many, many years. She's been very active on the Canada Day Celebrations Committee. She's the editor-in-chief of Modesty magazine, and she's running because she believes that Ward 8 needs a councillor who listens to the residents and acts on their concerns. So she's been out there talking to the residents of Ward 8. She's heard what the concerns are, and she's eager to get into action after November 13th and represent you very strongly on Markham Council. Thank you so much for offering Ivy this.
This question actually is very dear to me. I came from Sweden. I lived in Sweden for 12 years. In the near 30 years ago, Sweden, when we talk about incineration, everyone is scared because of the black toxic smoke. In the last 30 years, Sweden has made a substantial improvement in environment issue. They are able to turn the waste into energy. I am the only candidate in Markham candidate running for regional council that's been talking every debate in every meeting. I have yet to hear a single of them, the candidates sitting on this table here, to talk about this issue here. Last week, I had a chance to meet the King of Sweden, and he was very surprised when he met the Toronto delegation. It seemed to be no one is interested to talk about incineration. They all talk about to buy landfill and dump the landfill. Look at what happened in Vaughan a couple of years ago. That was shut down. Okay, it's not work. That's a short-term solution. Make sure that, this is a great technology. It's very clean. You don't have to look any further. Just look at Sweden. And when you elect me, you can rest assured that this will be on my agenda on the top topics. Thank you.
I'm here, Tony Wong, please.
Thank you for the question. I think we did not have knowledge or enough knowledge of the incineration technology a few years ago, but of course, now the technology has matured. But not only incineration, there are other technologies such as plasma technology that will be able to deal with waste management in an effective way. And yes, we should absolutely look at these new technologies. I'm all for it. 我想同大家講咧，就係話其實即係唔淨止係焚化嘅科技咧，係有好新嘅發展。最近咧，我亦都差唔多係幾月前咧，知道安省有一間公司咧係用呢個 plasma technology， 即係話佢將啲垃圾咧係個溫度升到高度咧，佢哋係會變成氣體嘅。咁呢個係一個好新嘅科技。咁呢個係安省公司，佢亦都咧喺西班牙度咧再做咗進一步嘅研究，而最近佢翻咗嚟，我知道佢喺 Ottawa 咧，亦都係做緊第一個嘗試嘅呢個我唔知叫咩爐，即係將佢變做氣體嘅爐。咁我覺得而家好多新嘅科技咧，已經係幾年前我哋唔知道，而我知道係焚化嘅科技咧喺歐洲度咧已經係用得好普遍，所以對我哋嚟講絕對應該考慮呢樣嘢嘅。
Yeah, I think it was wrong for us in Toronto to be trucking our garbage to Michigan, and I guess in the next couple of years they're going to be closing that down, and Toronto has made a deal with a place outside London near St. Thomas to do it. But right now, Markham has diverted 70% with 3-stream, and the rest of the region the rest of the region should catch up because they're way behind Markham. And we are also doing a joint RFP with Durham and doing an environmental assessment looking at incineration. The technology has improved significantly. There's a lot of countries in Europe that are doing incineration. Japan has been doing incineration for a long time. And I think it's time now that we take a hard look at incineration, and I think that it definitely has been on the region's agenda for the last 2 or 3 years that I've been there. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, and I just want to let you know, no one is afraid of this topic. I'll tell you something, I'm glad in York Region and in Markham we started with recycling first, because if we'd built an incinerator first, all of the garbage would have landed in there. And because we started the blue bin, and I was on the original recycling committee that started with the blue box, and I was on the steering committee for the green bin, as Regional Councillor Jones said, we now divert close to 70% of the garbage that would have gone to landfill or would have gone to an incinerator. We're able to use that material for something else. And I think that's good for the environment, and I think that's the right strategy. Now, after all is said and done, we're still going to end up with some garbage, and we are currently looking at energy from waste, building a facility that will either burn or use new technology to destroy that material, create steam, which will turn the turbines and create electricity. And one of the things, and I think one of the things you should ask all the regional councillor candidates, because there hasn't been support around the regional council table yet, if we build an incinerator, will they support an additional process before the material goes in to the incinerator? I want to make sure there's an additional process that removes anything that can be recycled before it gets burned. So it's one more step in the process, and I hope that the regional council candidates will answer that question, because so far there hasn't been support around the regional council table to do that. We should make sure we take all of the garbage we can out of the stream before we burn it. And then if we have to burn it or we have to use some new technology, I support using that to create electricity for the province of Ontario. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. 阿 Frank 咧就講咧，Markham市咧係第一個有啲 blue band 嗰啲嘢，分開晒啲汽水蓋啊、garbage嗰啲嘢。咁咧佢都好支持嗰個即係焚化爐嗰個 technology， 但係咧未曾做到呢方面咧，佢希望咧未曾去焚化爐之前咧，所有嗰啲係可以能夠 recycle， 可以能夠再循環嘅嘢咧，就再揀出嚟，再先去焚化爐。啊，佢對呢方面都好支持。Thank you.